Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and we are here for another installment of our reading of Becoming Sister Wives, the story of an unconventional marriage. We have moved on to part 2, Sorority.
Finger snaps? Yeah, finger snaps for sorority.
I can't snap. You always tell me that.
Yeah, it's
I
a
actually
struggle.
think sometimes they're pretty good.
Sometimes?
That was good.
I don't know if we heard it, though, because it was off mic. And now, see, they sound like... I don't know if this is going to be an auditory thing for me now. Problems. But, I mean... That's the weird thing with snapping, too, is it's the finger that you are pushing against. It's
Go
smacking
on, show
against...
me up. This is quite the experience for everybody listening.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Let's not
Okay,
mansplain snapping.
Snapping.
This is part 2, Sorority. We're on chapter 5, and we're back with the Mare Bear.
I think on my first read through, this was when I circled the hearts that were at the header of the chapter.
It took you 87 pages in to notice them?
Yeah, 5 chapters. Well, 4 whole chapters, and then starting of the 5th, that was when I circled it previously and said, Robyn art commissions? But that is the joke, too, is that this is Robyn's #1 New York Times bestselling book, Becoming Sister Wives, because in season 14, on her vision board, she was talking about all the wonderful things that she accomplished in her life. Writing a #1 New York Times bestseller was top of the list for her. Check that off the list. She done did that.
She's so successful in life.
Wildly successful. Couldn't even imagine the levels of success that she's able to achieve.
We are steadily making our way through the book, which is very exciting because you know what that means. Book club number 2 is approaching.
People were wondering, why are you doing the book when the book is like 15 years old at this point? It's because we're building in anticipation for the real book that's going to drop this year, Christine Woolley Brown's autobiography, which releases sometime in September, beginning of September.
That's when we're expecting the book club will start for that book, but that's obviously dependent on when we receive one.
It depends on when we get our hands on the book so we can read the book. Plus...
And all of you, because we want you to read it with us.
Yeah, we don't want to be the only ones who are reading this. But also, the way that the calendar is lined up, this one's going to it's going to eat into September a little bit, the way that we have the chapters broken out right now. So we'll have to see how that lines up on the
We'll eventually,
calendar.
I think, combine a few chapters, but we'll
Either
let you know in
that.
advance so you can keep up with your reading.
Yes, of course.
Today, you are here on chapter 5, which starts on page 87, and I don't really get what Meri was trying to do here because it just felt like a regurgitation of a lot of the stuff that we already heard.
It's a collective summary. We heard Meri's take. We heard Janelle's, Christine's, and then Robyn's takes. Now we're circling back to Meri to get her take on Janelle, Christine, and Robyn's take.
I feel like the reason this chapter is so strange is because Meri has never achieved any level of closeness in a good relationship, if you want to say the word sorority, which the entire section is named after. She doesn't have that. So she's just rambling about other shit.
The word that kept jumping out to me that I kept highlighting was betrayed. Meri was betrayed a lot. There was a lot of betrayal. So we'll call those out as we get to them as well in context. But what
she
was
says
this?
the quiet part out loud right up front that
Well-
she was eager to have a sister wife to be her friend.
She was trying to collect friends. Kody has to marry people so that Meri has friends. I think that
That was the plan, but it didn't work.
Well, it didn't work. And like, that's the problem too, is that I think it's still Meri and Kody is still, that's the collective vision. Meri's identity is in Kody. And so how would I have relationships with people independent of my relationship with Kody?
Well, she can't. She's too cautious.
Nope.
Walls are up. It's hard for her to get along with other women unless they're in some type of intimate relationship with her husband. Why did she think that was going to be the key?
That'll make it easier.
That was what was going to unlock all of these relationships for her.
Well, at least she is somewhat self-aware, where she's realizing, I kind of idealized the idea of plural marriage and having sister wives. I thought it was going to be this great thing. Turns out, wasn't that great. In practice, in execution, not really a fan of it. But we have to keep forging ahead. We have to keep adding more.
I got the vibe that she spends a lot of time thinking about the young woman, the girl who was like, they're saying 18, but I think she was newly 18.
The one that got away. Yeah, because she was 17 when they started hanging out and was 18 when they were supposed to get married, and she bailed. So this is the one that got away for Meri.
Okay, let's imagine that alternate timeline, though, and that marriage does take place. I feel like I have a theory of how it works out, but what's your take?
Well, they wouldn't add Christine because Christine was completely against the 17-year-old joining the family, did not see a future with this person.
No, and Meri and this person were going to be besties anyway, so they don't need Christine to come in and fix everything.
Oh,
so her role is eliminated.
They would just connect. Things would have just been great for the two of them as sister wives, and they would have got along. I don't think they would have got along. I don't think it was going as well as Meri thinks back on it.
That's probably true, but the vision I had was of Meri and the young girl being besties and overruling Kody on everything, and him being driven so insane because he found Meri insufferable, or at least now he claims that he did. Having her plus someone who backed her up all the time, I feel like he would have gotten out of this. He would have abandoned the both.
I don't know. I
cannot finish this sentence. He would have abandoned the both of them.
The both of them. But I don't think that he would. The connection that Meri is talking about with that young woman, I'm not buying it. It doesn't feel like there was a legitimate relationship that was there. So it was something that was fake. It was a facade.
All right. Well, it was definitely better than what she had with Janelle.
I mean, in what ways? Janelle provided some financial stability for the family, at least.
No, Janelle had a platonic relationship with Kody that was non-threatening to Meri, and that was her appeal.
That was the benefit. Yeah, this was safer. There was not a competitive side to the relationship. Janelle wasn't stepping on Meri's toes because Janelle wasn't a threat to Meri. So she liked that. That made this easy, even though plural marriage is supposed to be a challenge because it makes you grow as a person or something.
How insulting if you're Janelle hearing Meri say that in hindsight. Like, I was really cool with Janelle joining the family because I didn't see that it was going to change my relationship with Kody at all because he didn't really seem in love with her. They weren't romantic. It was nothing like my relationship with him, which was ideal.
Well, I like the other part too, where we're circling back on, we were wondering, did Kody talk to Meri about Janelle when he was pitching the idea of maybe Janelle should consider joining our family? He did not run that by Meri. Meri was saying here, if Kody had feelings for Janelle that was anything other than platonic, he did not discuss them with me.
Well, that should have been the red flag for Meri, right? I'm still pretty sure that they needed to marry Janelle just so that she could help them pay the rent.
I think that was a big reason. Well, and she was their landlord, is what we found out too. They were renting a place from Janelle, so now you don't have to pay rent. We're eliminating a couple of bills.
Overall, a convenient situation.
Allies of opportunity, I think, is a way to describe that. There was a pointed example that Meri was using, too, about how she was just thankful that Janelle and Kody weren't a gushy, lovey-dovey type couple who would melt at the sight of each other. Who does that sound like? What relationship does that remind you of in terms of wives with Kody?
Which regions are melting? Is it the nether regions?
Pretty much so. This sounds like Robyn.
It could be Robyn. It could be Christine.
I don't think it was Christine.
I mean, it's one-sided, but Christine. Mutual would be Robyn.
Mutual is definitely Robyn. So is this something that Meri's kind of dealing with at this time? Because Robyn is recently new to joining the family here. She's kind of revisiting some of these older thoughts and opinions that she had about Janelle joining the family at the time. And now it's kind of coming back as, this is why this is difficult for me right now.
This chapter felt to me like Meri unburdening herself of all of the ways that she's been wronged by her other sister wives over the years, particularly Janelle, because right away she reminds us of Kody and Janelle's wedding and how they tried to get married on her birthday.
Now, there have been some follow-up details about this too is that in the OB community, the church only does the religious sealing ceremonies 1 day per month.
Get married in February.
Can't wait another month. Janelle might change her mind. We've got to close the deal here. We got to seal the deal.
I don't know. That would have pissed me off because then your anniversary is on my birthday and that's just awkward. And even if you say you're going to celebrate it on another day, it's still a day very close to my birthday. And Kody's birthday is the day, is it before or after hers? They're back to back.
Very close.
So 2 birthdays and a wedding anniversary? That's too much.
Well, and Meri's taking it personally. She's saying to not even consider this.
It was insensitive.
This is extremely insensitive. So not only for Kody to just brush by it and say, sorry, it's your birthday, Meri. We're going to have to celebrate it on another day because I have a wedding to go to. And then she was also mad at Janelle for not even considering her emotions in terms of being married on Meri's birthday. Married on Meri's birthday?
I think it's fucking rude. I do. I think it's rude and it's insensitive. And I don't know how we have that from Janelle, but then when Christine marries into the family, she doesn't even want to have anything other than a dinner. There's no reception, no big to-do, because she feels like that would be wrong, having 2 existing sister wives.
Well, it was only an issue for a minute because then Meri just has to make one phone call to talk to Kody and Janelle's mom.
I think it was Kody's mom.
Well, Technically,
oh yeah, that is also Janelle's mom.
She's making one phone call to call both of their moms and say, hey, it's time to talk to them and let them know this is pretty messed up. Let's see if we can persuade them, if they could be persuaded to move it one more day.
Still too close for comfort. So her birthday was her last day in a monogamous relationship with Kody. That kind of sucks.
Happy birthday.
She was happy for both of them, though. Kinda. I mean,
well, as happy as Meri could be at that time.
They jet off on their romantic honeymoon, where they are just
driving,
carpooling to somewhere in Wyoming, Montana. Who knows?
I'm so glad I could bring you along, Janelle. I can use the carpool lane.
Meri, before Kody leaves, he stuffs a bunch of cash into her paw and tells her, have fun.
Wasn't this is just more Goodfellas imagery than for us, because we already made the joke about Christine.
It was a little Home Alone. That's what I was feeling.
Home Alone?
All right, Goodfellas, but also Home Alone.
Well, I was thinking of Goodfellas when it was the how much cash do you need? About this much. And you just hold up your hand to indicate how tall of a stack of money you need.
She wasn't asking. He just volunteered this.
So that makes it feel like a bribe then of don't get mad at me, Meri. Please
buy yourself something to distract you.
Go have fun without me and just push through this, okay?
I would have emptied the bank account. He probably did just to give her, what do you think it was, $40? They didn't have any money.
Adjusted for inflation?
I don't hate her plan that she's going to get a hotel room. She's just going to binge a bunch of TV and sulk.
Well, because otherwise she was going to be thinking about the deep, dark questions. Who am I now that I'm not Meri of Meri and Kody? How do I formulate my own personality?
She is still Meri of Meri and Kody, though, because
she's not.
Well, she is, because they're not going to ever be able to publicly acknowledge Janelle. So she still is the one with the legal marriage who gets to be acknowledged more commonly. Not that much is changing, drama queen.
What shows do you think she was watching? Well, she didn't even end up doing that. That's too much of a individual thing to do. She's going to go hang out with her parents instead.
They saw where this was going. They're like, we've got to intervene. We got to distract you for a week. Which also, it's right after her birthday. Nobody made plans. There's no family gatherings. It's Meri's birthday, Kody and Janelle's wedding. And then they're like, go find something to do.
Go have fun. By yourself. Not with this.
No wonder this woman's depressed.
Well, at least Kody was calling to check in. Every day that he was on the honeymoon with Janelle, he was calling back and communicating with Meri. Unlike Christine's honeymoon, which we hear about later in the chapter here, she only got one phone call.
To be fair, though, that was an impromptu honeymoon because he didn't plan anything. And I think he had to really make up to Christine that he fucked up.
I think that, yeah, Christine was already mad at him. So then if he was going to say, excuse me, I need to call Meri
I think
for
that was
a
going to
few
make it better.
hours, no way. That's not going to happen. So
He managed to piss off more than one wife.
he thought that he was just going to be able to have the ceremony with Christine, bring her home without a honeymoon, and just have her fix all of his problems for him. That was the plan. That was his best case scenario that he came up with. And he realized way too late. Uh-oh.
So Janelle and Kody get back from the honeymoon, and things are not going great because they're living in the same house together. Now, I don't think this
that's
was
the issue.
I don't think I ever really thought about that.
With it being one big house, one big happy family, that was the
We're just
answer.
used to them being in one house.
Right.
But this does kind of feel like it's going to cause a lot of problems because Kody and Janelle don't have much to their relationship either. Plus, there's the whole their brother and sister, and Meri, this is her ex-sister-in-law. There's a lot of messy threads connecting back and forth between these three.
Well, there's a lot of oversight that's going on in this too, because Meri's then basically saying, yeah, it's a great idea that we didn't want to move Janelle into our apartment of Kody and Meri's apartment, because then that would feel like she's just like a house guest or something. So they did move into their own place where it was going to be all of theirs collectively. But then Meri gave no additional thought to maybe there are some behaviors that I would need to adjust and change based on having another wife in the home.
So then I take back what I said about Janelle with being insensitive with the wedding date, because Meri didn't think about what she was going to have to do or change when she suddenly became a polygamist.
I might change your mind back, though. Was this in response to Janelle didn't respect my birthday of joining the family, so I will make zero considerations for you as a new wife?
Okay, you have changed my mind. I do think that is passive aggressive, and that is Meri Caroline Brown.
That's Meri. That's Meri all day.
She said, I'm going to keep doing me, and you're just going to have to adjust around it if you want to be here. Otherwise, maybe you'll run off. She was hoping to run Janelle off.
Maybe you're not, cut out for this.
Their personalities are just really different, and they live very differently. And that was a mind-blowing realization for Meri, that maybe Janelle doesn't communicate the exact same way that I do. Maybe she doesn't have the exact same preferences that I do. And maybe she's not going to like that I impose my will upon her all of the time.
But she hasn't said anything otherwise about it, so I'll just continue doing that until we meet some opposition here. But then that doesn't really happen it doesn't happen from Janelle either. I think that's the other thing that frustrates Meri, is then she's usually hearing about this stuff through Kody when there is a problem. So then they're never addressing anything directly with each other.
It just sounds like a nightmare. I really want to know more about why Janelle's relationship with Meri's brother went downhill so quickly. And if when she moved in with Kody and Meri, any similar behaviors or patterns emerged.
Some blind spots, some character type things.
That maybe reminded her of her first marriage. And so she hid in her room all the time. Because Meri basically admits she's all up on Kody in front of Janelle.
It was not healthy or fair for her to see the affection that I shared with Kody. She realizes this in hindsight.
Was that her asserting her dominance in the situation? Like when Maisie attempts to hump Big Lammy?
And Mega Lammy. There are a couple different ones.
They keep making lamb chops in different sizes, and then we have to come up with new names.
This one's too big. This one's big enough.
Mega Lammy.
The Mega Lammy's big enough. We're not going any bigger than that one. We can't.
She can barely even move this one.
Yeah.
So big. So much bigger than her.
Can't drag it around. So is it a dominance thing? I don't think so. I mean, I think there is like an obliviousness that's in here too, because Meri's even realizing like, oh, we each need space to develop and nurture our own individual relationships with Kody. I think Meri was just attached to Kody. Kody didn't have a moment of personal time to himself in the entire time that he's been married to Meri.
Then I don't think the idea that they maybe should have lived in two different homes would have worked, because Don't you think she would have fought that tooth and nail?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
then he'd be gone some days of the week.
Yeah, she would not like that at all.
Also, I don't think they could have afforded to have 2 homes.
No, yeah, that's another complication there. They needed 3 incomes to pay for 1 home.
Much like today.
Very much like today.
The other thing that's really messed up that I don't think it's spoken about enough is they have to figure out how they're going to explain Janelle to other people. Because now they always have this third wheel with them. And how are they going to tell? Who is she? Who is this woman?
She's Kody's sister. That's an easy answer.
We're not lying.
No, that is
It's
the
the
truth.
truth.
God's honest truth. We're not lying to anyone. So even though we are living under a veil of secrecy, there is an element of truth.
This is where I need Janelle to speak up and say, I'm not cool with that. It's kind of weird to be married to you and be reminded of this unfortunate series of events where we ended up being siblings, technically.
We need Meri to speak up because Mary's saying that she was the one who felt wildly uncomfortable introducing Janelle as Kody's sister, but Kody and Janelle seemed really okay with it. So she just kind of played along. She just bottled up those feelings. Okay, well, I don't want to be a naysayer.
When you see something, you say something. This is not normal.
This
is not normal. This is not healthy.
I don't like this.
It's extra, extra weird just because they're reminding each other of this relationship. And also, she's also kind of my sister.
Well, and then
she's Mary's ex-sister-in-law.
Yes, yeah.
The web, we just keep weaving, it gets more complicated.
It's just tighter and tighter.
I like the word weaving.
Oh, weaving?
Can we make that into something? I like it better than weaving.
Weebo wobbles. Mary's having some deep self-reflection here, though, because she's realizing I wasn't really able to handle the stress of this new situation. She's coming to the realization she's a very direct person. She tends to be a little bit harsh in her delivery when she's talking about things.
I continue to be annoyed by the fact that this is a criticism they have given to Meri because she has a different form of communication and they take it as aggressiveness, but it's just directness. Maybe that's because I'm a direct person.
Well, and then
so I'm
for
taking
Janelle,
it personally.
oh yeah, but like Janelle is very non-confrontational, as we know. And I think at this point, Janelle is even less confrontational than she is now. Like, we know a very different version of Janelle based on the show, watching the divorce with Kody and the separation of their relationship too. Like, this is a very different idea of Janelle. I think Taylor Swift 22 Janelle is like
a doormat.
Yeah, she's not, and she won't say anything because she doesn't want to be the naysayer in it, because I'm sure Kody is throwing Meri under the bus for being Debbie Downer anytime Meri has a complaint about anything.
What I don't like about it is because the way Janelle acts is preferred in their community because it's meeker, it's quieter, you're not as big of a problem. And Meri's on the total end of the spectrum with that, where she's direct and she expresses what she wants or needs too much, that Meri is the problem. Not that they both have their own issues with their communication and need to find a middle ground.
Yeah, not the middle. I need you to be more like Janelle in this because that makes it better for me.
Still say she was on the wrong coast. Should have been on the East Coast, girl.
Yeah, I mean, for a California girl, that would have been rough. So, things to consider. Meri's from California originally.
When she
right?
was
Remember?
like
I know.
3 years old.
And she touted it in her chapter, that first chapter. She was very quick to let everybody know. So she's also very quick to let Janelle know how the house is supposed to be decorated. Things related to the family finances and how that should be handled. I thought that was interesting.
Meri would have ate if she lived in the Gilded Age. If she was one of these women running a house by herself, this is expected behavior. Born in the wrong era and on the wrong coast.
She missed it. Yeah.
1880s New York. That's where Meri belongs.
She's Vanderbilt different.
She's betrayed. She's betrayed.
Oh, yes. The betrayal was...
This is some shit, and I'm going to come for Janelle again. Because Meri has no idea there's even a problem. Because Janelle won't say anything to her. And she finds out later because Kody is the one who has to come to her and say, hey, so Janelle actually was kind of upset about how this went down.
So think of this in other terms that we can equate this to. It's like taking your sister wives to pick out a wedding dress. And you are very agreeable. You're trying on different things.
You think you're on the same page.
Everybody agrees one of these dresses that you have tried on here today will be selected for your wedding ceremony with Kody. And what a great day that's going to be. We were all involved in the process and we helped make this decision. And then you come to find out, no, that was all bullshit. And actually, it's Kody's decision. I'm going to go with Kody secretly after the fact and then pick the dress that he wants me to wear.
I would say betrayal is the right word to describe that.
Betrayal is accurate then. So, I mean, if we're framing it in a different way, very similar thing here of being agreeable in person in the moment while something's happening, not addressing any of the issues, and then just doing something completely different behind their back. And now you've changed the entire landscape of this relationship.
I'm going to defend Kody here and say it's wrong to put him in the situation where he now has to be the mediator between the two of you. When there was no attempt, it seems, to just go to Meri first and try to work it out between the two of them.
That would be the bigger issue, is that Kody was trying to step in so there wouldn't be confrontation.
Right, to avoid the moment where they have to confront one another and have a conversation.
But you can
That's
get
not
past
a healthy communication pattern
that.
either.
No. Because then you can get past that, though. So especially if it's the two people who are directly involved, like, yes, that needs to take place so that you can forge ahead.
Well, needless to say, any friendship that Meri and Janelle may have had at the beginning of this relationship, it's pretty much erased by now. And the idea that they're going to be bestie sister wives and it's going to be what Meri imagined plural marriage was going to be like, that's not happening.
We got to get another one. This one's broken. This one's defective. It's not
I don't
gonna
like
work.
this one.
This one's not working for me. I liked when Meri said, I hadn't yet learned how to be softer in the delivery of my words, not so overbearing. She hadn't yet learned?
It's a work in progress.
Are we still... Yeah, we're still in the yet phase here, Meri. It feels like we're yetting still to this day.
She also throws Janelle under the bus again. At the top of page 90, was this 95? I would be pissed about this. There is a lot of past history, things I won't talk about in specifics in public, out of respect for Janelle and my desire to protect her.
Right, this is when
so
she's talking about those rough times.
You're making it sound like, so Janelle was in the wrong, in your
had
opinion,
a lot of problems.
quite a bit, and you could spill the tea and tell us, and we would totally be on your side. But you're not going to because you feel the need to protect Janelle because she's your sister wife and you're a good person.
And then here's another thing to elevate me in this situation as well, is that I know we're not working on those problems right now and not in the foreseeable future either, but I do like to imagine there is this distant future way, way far removed from where we are right now, where I hope it'll happen, where we do eventually address this stuff and move past it, and then we have a great relationship.
Yeah, so just to be clear, she most definitely did mean things and bad things to me. And I'm hoping someday, eventually, we'll be able to move past that, even though it hasn't happened for 22 years.
Oh, and I'm not taking any steps to get closer to that as a destination for our relationship. I'm not putting any work in.
Yeah, she wrote it in the book so Janelle could read it.
Yeah, and then I just hope that eventually it'll just kind of come to fruition through no other fault of anyone else. And
no intervention.
Just through osmosis.
Yeah. She's going to put it on her vision board.
Yeah, pretty much.
Things get dark. We take a turn because now we're going to talk about pregnancies and Meri's difficulty dealing with the fact that Janelle very quickly got pregnant. And meanwhile, Meri's been married for 3 years. And seems like pretty much from the day they got married, they said, if it happens, it happens.
They were trying.
And it never happened.
Hadn't happened yet. So Meri is pretty devastated, is what she describes when she finds out that Janelle is pregnant.
Because she's probably thinking, these two... they're doing sex, as Dina would say, in Jersey Shore.
Right.
She didn't get that vibe.
I thought it was more
I thought it was intellectual.
Yeah, this
it was
mental
a little
bond.
asexual.
Yeah.
It was very platonic.
Not the lovey-dovey. I think Janelle is just down to business, though, and that is something that Meri overlooked. Straight to business.
There is still so much trauma in the way that she describes her difficulty getting pregnant. I could not figure out what was wrong with me. I hope that we've gotten to the point where maybe Meri has done some therapy to work through infertility trauma.
I felt betrayed by my own body. So that's another moment of betrayal in this chapter for Meri too. Her betraying herself.
And I don't think that any of these are unique statements. I think a lot of women experiencing the same thing feel or have these same thoughts. You shouldn't have to feel that way about your own body. But it is inherently traumatic to internalize these beliefs about yourself.
Well, Meri doesn't really know how to process through any of that either. So yeah, now that she's carrying that, she's not able to express this or talk about any of these emotions either. So we see another pattern that comes out later on in the series after the book was written. So I turned inward and started to withdraw from Kody and Janelle, which very much like the experience during the catfishing incident.
That's a good point. I think she mentions later in this chapter doing that same thing again, that this is perhaps a way that Meri attempts to protect herself or deal with really difficult emotions, is that she just removes herself from engaging with other people entirely. So the catfish is not unique, which makes me more upset that Kody then weaponized the way Meri reacted to that situation so that he could get out of a relationship with her.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of different tie-ins because there was catfish tie-ins for that specifically. And then I think there was some other stuff too of Meri's repeated identity crisis, because I think we had a few different spots of that. We already had initially when Janelle joined the family, where she has to kind of reassess, who am I without just being Kody's wife? And then there's more of like her standing in the family with her fertility issues. She's struggling where she's only able to have one kid biologically here in the family.
Who am I if I'm not a mother of a big family?
Because she wanted to have a bunch of kids biologically, but that wasn't in the cards for her. So then we're talking about Christine joining in the family, another kind of different type of love. But this was a little bit harder because it was easy to have Janelle join because, again, it was kind of an arm's length relationship. You don't really need to think about Janelle replacing you, but now Christine has a bubbly personality. She's got some positivity. She can be goofy and silly and funny.
She's kind of missing a lot of the things that Meri has been lacking in her personality.
Or complaints that Kody is raising to her about, how she needs to be or should be. So these are just reminders of your shortcomings.
Also, I think it's interesting that Janelle seemed to come out of nowhere for Meri because there was not really a whole lot of discussion about her prior to it moving into a courtship. Christine was kind of always on the radar of someone who seemed interested in Kody and in the family. So when she does eventually end up courting him or being courted by him, it's almost like this threat that's been in the background has now emerged.
It's real now. I just liked all the verbiage that Meri was using to describe Kody and Christine's relationship too, about how smitten he was.
He was very clearly in love.
Very in love.
Really interesting for a man who has now forgotten that, who had the 1,000-yard stare, who was forced to marry this woman by some type of trick or witchcraft or something, a favor to her father.
An undeniable emotional attraction. Seemed to gloss right over that.
Christine's smart. We've seen it play out in multiple ways throughout this marriage and how she left it. But she comes in and she says, I'm going to need my own house. I'm not squeezing in here with the three of you. And I'd like to have my time to build my relationship with Kody, which is what they did not do with Janelle.
Right. Yeah. Which honestly, I guess it's good to have a conviction about something, speak up about it, and then hold everyone else to that standard that you've set for yourself.
Yeah, and not get upset when other people didn't read your mind about what you did or didn't want.
Or the fact that, you didn't get bulldozed into, well, we don't have the money for that, and it would be easier if you just grabbed a sleeping bag and slept in the living room here. I think that would be the easiest thing and the best thing for the family. Okay, no, that's not going to happen.
You know what? Her getting her own house, I think, also proves that Kody was in love with her because, let's be real, this man has never gone out of his way to do any favors for any of the wives that he didn't feel some type of actual connection to. He would not have gotten her own house.
He barely got Janelle a roof over her head.
When she still had children living with her.
When she still had Savannah living there. It was just an RV on an empty, vacant lot.
Things are better between Meri and Christine than they were between Meri and Janelle. I don't know by how much, but Meri has arrived at the place where she is now friends with Christine.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, if you start at just complete shit and then you're comparing something to that, it's like, well, it was better. Okay, well, it sounded like the Meri and Janelle dynamic was pretty bad. So I don't think it could go any worse necessarily for the Meri and Christine dynamic.
Well, let's try, because Christine gets pregnant.
Well, it's the disappointment sting again for Meri in terms of the expectation that was there. And then I think secretly she kind of knew this. Like, she was expecting Janelle to get pregnant pretty quickly too. I think she knows there must be a Kody conversation that happens that, hey, I'm allergic to latex. It's not going to happen.
And the brownie batter is potent.
It's thick. So...
Yeah, that upset me because so Christine gets pregnant and now Meri's having another crisis, thinking to herself, okay, this is just proving that the problem lies with me and not with him. Not necessarily true.
Oh, as you've known from a historical standpoint here, yes.
Am I getting on my King Henry VIII soapbox?
Yes, I think you are.
I think that's maybe what's upsetting me about this so much.
That is part of it.
You are biologically and genetically a different person from Janelle and Christine. And from Kody, and you do not know, because I doubt that they have the money, the time, the access to a healthcare professional to figure out these things.
I don't think they were doing any testing of any kind. Just the good old fashioned see what happens this month. That was really what we had to go off of.
The spray and pray.
Yeah, pretty
Is that,
much.
I don't think that's the right.
That's not. It applies. It lends itself very well to the situation, though.
But lo and behold, a miracle happens.
A miracle.
Because Meri finds out that she is pregnant 4 months into Christine being pregnant. So the babies are going to be born very close together.
Well, and this was something that Meri was a little nervous to bring up because it's going to seem like she's stealing Christine's thunder, which that is exactly how Christine took this announcement.
That's very Maddie and McKelty's wedding, like the duel that occurred there.
That's fun. Yeah, that's a fun tie-in. I just like that Meri didn't even give a shit. She's like, yeah, that's great. You're going to feel a certain way about that. I don't really care because I'm happy that I finally got what I wanted out of this.
That sentence, I felt like maybe we could have refined a little bit.
Nope.
I do understand why she's excited.
I don't take notes. Nope. I don't... No feedback. You don't need to underline anything in here.
I get why it would be like, well, I mean, this is the reality of the fact that we're all sleeping with the same man, was that it is possible that he could get us pregnant at the same time. And Meri has been wanting this for a very long time. So is she going to pretend she's not pregnant? We're saying pregnant so much, it's making me think pregante.
Oh, yes.
I feel like I have to say it differently.
Pregnate?
It's too much of the same word over and over and over again.
Be careful. This begins the questioning for Meri of wondering her place in the family, because then that's a struggle that we see later on too.
Well, maybe this is why we shouldn't tell women that their only function and value in society is to birth and raise children.
Yeah, because when she's talking about how she feels so defective and she's just so down on herself about not being able to fulfill her own ideology of what she wants to accomplish here as a mom, as a wife, and as a plural wife. But then that's where some of the benefits of polygamy start to show up, because then she is able to have all of these kids, this larger family that she never would have been able to have had it just been her and Kody, obviously.
Okay, that made me sad because she talks quite a bit about how she has a wonderful relationship with the kids in the family.
Well,
and how much she values them.
At the time she did.
And then we know that that wasn't really mutual.
Well,
at least for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Things are going good. There are babies. They've got their unit of the 3 wives working together. They don't really like each other that much, but I mean, they're kind of functioning together out of necessity. But their problems really are that Kody, his job sucks. He has to travel a lot, and the living situation's not ideal.
At this point, it seems like Kody has a lot of traveling sales jobs where he's not around. So now they are all operating like single mothers with nothing to give you.
A single mom who works 2 jobs.
some of
Janelle
them-
moves into her own house.
Yeah.
She's taking on more responsibilities.
Well, if I'm going to live as a single mother, I might as well live as a single mother under my own roof where I don't have other mothers hounding me for shit.
Don't have Meri lording over me.
Yeah, that's a bigger problem.
But this is making them realize, okay, so now we're not living under the same roof. What does that mean? Kody's not even here half the time. And they eventually find the house in Utah. Kody gets a job in Utah. They're all living together under one roof. And this is the Brown family as we meet them when the show starts.
Because this is also the groundwork for later seasons' Biggie Housie debates, too, of how can we all be one family unit if we're living apart from each other? Because that's the same struggle they had when they moved to Vegas. They're in 4 separate houses that aren't even close to each other.
It's just ironic because this is what eventually sells Robyn on the family. And this was kind of a new development. This was not how the family functioned consistently for a long period of time.
Well, and it was like a solution to it wasn't going well. I mean, it kind of was. It was functioning, but it wasn't going great. So in order to do that, they had to put everybody together in one house. So I don't know if that kind of got rooted in Kody's mind too of, oh, if you're having problems with being one family unit, get everyone under one roof. And that is the reason why he goes so hard on Biggie Housie plans later on.
No, I think that's because that was Robyn's dream.
Well, I mean, Robyn's
she
dream,
missed out on the Biggie Housie.
She missed the boat on, she didn't get to move in with everybody.
Also, I do think Kody felt that was a solution to the concerns about his time, because that's one of the benefits of the one house that Meri even mentions, that he gets to be home and tuck all the kids into bed because he can just go from one unit, one apartment to the next.
He's
and
able
be with
to,
them all.
He's able to be the best dad possible because he's present for all of his children all the time.
And obviously what wasn't being said on the show at the time was that there was a lot of stress about the fact that Kody just wasn't around in the cul-de-sac most of the time. Well, he was maybe at one of the houses in the cul-de-sac, but not the other 3.
Yeah, eventually. Well, I'll tell you whose apartment I would be spending time in. At the Lehigh house. Meri's. It's nice and quiet in there. A bit more peaceful, I think is how she described it. I don't know if just being quiet means peaceful, though, because I feel like there would be some tension in the air still. You could cut it with a knife.
I do think it was probably the least peaceful environment within the house.
Least peaceful?
If you're looking for quiet, like you said, different than peace, then maybe that's the place for you. If Meri will let you be there, but we know she doesn't let anyone go into her area of the house when she's not home.
No traipsing through.
And that's probably the best time to be there is when Meri's not there.
Well, just leave your shoes off at the door.
The other door, the front door.
The front one.
You cannot use the side door or the basement door.
Yeah, no cut-throughs, no bypass.
Meri's still kind of lost in this big family because now we've gone from, the different times in her life where she hasn't really been able to figure out what her identity is, who she is. We're back here again. This whole struggle of does it even matter if I'm not around?
That's the repeated.
This has been something that she has struggled with, it seems, pretty much throughout the entirety of their marriage.
Okay, and I would argue, I think that is a deep-rooted concern and echoing all the way back to Meri's childhood. Like, this is a pre-Kody condition.
Well, how could it not be when we go back to the beginning of this book where she talks about how she went to this church since she was a child and nobody recognizes her. Nobody knows she's even there until she meets Kody. So why would you not feel insignificant or like it doesn't matter if you're around if people don't even notice that you've been somewhere consistently for over a decade?
So that's what sets Meri on this path where she's kind of looking for a purpose. And I think she still hasn't found purpose within herself, though. She keeps looking at external sources of validation for her. So that becomes the new thing. And it's just another distraction too. It's another project to work on that I can focus my attention on instead of thinking about that scary thought that I don't want to have to keep lingering in my mind here.
I do like this, though. This is a good purpose to have that she wants to work with at-risk youth.
Yes, and like returning to college and you're bettering yourself. There are good things that can come out of maybe not the most direct way of dealing with your problems. So she is still doing it in a constructive way, but I don't think she's addressing the root issue, which are those lingering thoughts of her insecurity.
So she goes to school and she ends up getting a job working at a treatment center for troubled teens. This is the job that she loses when they start the show, right?
I think so.
That sucks.
That really sucks, lady.
If you have never seen the alternate ending to Titanic,
It's
give it a
always
Goog.
good for a PSA announcement when it comes up.
You know what struck me, though? You were just saying that you felt like this was another project for her, going back to school, getting this job,
Yeah.
pursuing this. She does then mention that after nearly 20 years of marriage, the issues we had left to simmer had begun to boil over. So immediately after she has finished this, she achieves it. She crosses it off the list. There's no more distractions. We're right back to having a bad relationship again between her and Kody.
So now what do? Now we are out of projects. We don't have stuff to work on. Now it's just me and Kody trying to work on our relationship together. This is scary. This is risky. I don't know how this is going to turn out.
And that's when they pull up to the driveway at Reba's house and they meet a thin, young, dark-haired woman with 3 children. Her name is She-Ra.
With an H at the end for legal purposes. It's not Masters of the Universe, no affiliation whatsoever.
I did think that it was funny that they didn't give any explanation for why Robyn would choose She-Ra as her alternate.
Legally, they couldn't say. You can't.
They had to edit that part out.
Yeah, we had to cut that. Well, I like how
this looks like another project.
This looks like it could be
Seems promising.
a ton of stuff that we would have to work through here that I could distract myself with, because Meri was never sure.
Why are you saying Meri?
Honestly,
It's killing me. Are you doing
Okay.
it on purpose? Do you know you're doing it?
here's the scary part. That one just came out like that. I didn't craft that and formulate it in any way. That was just what came out as I was talking. So Meri wasn't sure if Kody would ever marry again. So this was something that she was wondering too. And now she's seeing, well, there is a little spark here. There's something going on. Meri's not willing to admit that she thought that Robyn would solve her problems with Kody. But either
Not yet. She wrote, I never ever thought that Robyn would solve my problems with Kody.
Either that, or she knew that Robyn wouldn't solve the problems, but Robyn would at least distract from the problems with
It's a
Kody.
good start.
That helps. It's useful.
Turns out old habits die hard. So once Robyn and Kody actually start exploring a deeper relationship with one another, the jealous feelings that Meri had when Janelle and Christine came into the family, they all flood back to the surface.
Well, what's nice too is Meri has a little special secret too, because it's just Kody and Robyn and Meri who are in the know about this. Janelle and Christine aren't even involved. So that has kind of like a warm and fuzzy thing. But then, yeah, there's all these bad emotions that are underneath it too.
Oh, yeah, that broke me. I think it's the top of 106. She mentions how she had been instrumental in bringing them together. And now they kind of they don't need her anymore. They ditched her.
What did that sound like?
The divorce.
The divorce,
The legal divorce.
adoption,
And then the
legal.
marriage.
Oh, man.
The paperwork shuffle.
Where once they're done with you, they discard you immediately, and then it's just the Kody and Robyn show. They get to go and do their own thing. So yeah, I put a star next to that as well.
Yeah, things are pretty bad. They don't even enjoy being around one another. They can barely tolerate each other's presence. They're setting each other off. This is what's happening during the time that Robyn's coming into the family.
Well, this is, Kody and
she's
Robyn.
aware.
Kody and Robyn start courting, and Meri defines that as the absolute low point of her marriage to Kody. So that seems like, is this a last-ditch effort? Meri's saying that she knows that Robyn wouldn't solve these issues, but like, again, is it just a distraction? Is it something to appease Kody with? Are you trying to win favor in some way, so then that way you have more patience and understanding from Kody when it comes to the problems that you're dealing with?
I'm thinking that maybe bringing Robyn into the family was a last-ditch effort by Meri, but not in the way that maybe you traditionally think. I'm wondering if she thought she would be happier within the family if she had someone who she could confide in and who she felt closer with. She never had that sister-wife relationship that she always wanted.
That's it. Yeah, it's the this was what was missing from Sister Wives, because with Janelle and Christine, everything was functional. It was okay, but there wasn't a depth to those relationships. There wasn't this deep friendship and understanding. Nobody gets Meri. She thought that Kody did, but now they're basically on each other's last nerve, and so she doesn't have anybody.
I am concerned that Robyn knows this is going on and isn't alarmed by it. I mean, like, she is trying to get them to work on their marriage together, because we know Robyn's the bestest sister wife, even from the beginning.
This is what was scary, too, was when Meri's talking about the marriage counselor that she starts going to with Kody, and then Robyn would jump in on those sessions, too. So then it's Robyn, Meri, and Kody.
Really weird.
Doing marriage counseling before Robyn even married into the family?
I suspect that Kody told Robyn that these were new issues, and that it seems like Meri's dealing with jealousy and feelings that come along with another sister wife coming into the family. Not that he and Meri have been at each other's throats essentially since the beginning of their marriage.
Well, also, there's no basis for communication between Kody and Meri either, because then Meri's talking about how Kody is just perfectly content to stop talking and move on. Like, that's how pretty much 90% of their relationship on camera went, too, eventually within the series, was that if
we just don't talk about that.
There's a problem, get over it, Meri, and let me know when you're over it, and I'll come back. So ignoring the problems, at least they are trying to address some of this, I guess. And
this is like this is the origin of Robyn inserting herself into their relationship.
Yes, she becomes the fixer then.
Yeah. I mean, Meri's even talking about how Robyn's so sensitive that she is just aware of everything that I need. She's a step ahead all the time.
Well, I agree that she is playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers in some ways.
Not the beneficial way that Meri thought.
Is this marriage counselor? Is this Pat? Is this Delicious?
I think it is Miss Delicious.
Are you sure? Oh, God. That would be something, huh?
I need receipts of how many times Robyn attended, because she seemed to hate therapy once they met Nancy.
I need to know what took place at these therapy sessions, because in the span of about one page, we have Meri was talking about how her and Kody were not in a good place at all. Absolute low, and then now by the end of page 107 we are at our absolute best. So it's the same,
which we also know is not true.
No.
Because this book, what year was this book written? 2012.
Yeah, published in 2012. I think it was written between
we're on the verge of the beginning of the Catfish.
Yeah.
Like, was this the year before the Catfish?
The absolute best, because there's still those lingering questions, those deep-seated things, that terrifying loneliness that Meri experiences, and then her feelings of insignificance. That doesn't just go away, and you can't keep distracting yourself. You're just kicking the can down the road for when are you going to address this then?
But is there the illusion that their relationship has gotten better because she sees Kody less? Because that's what we're talking about on page 111. After 22 years, things are better than ever. Sure, Jan. We moved to Vegas, and we're in separate homes. We're busier than we've ever been before. I didn't even see Kody 5 days last week.
Those are rookie numbers. We're going to bump those numbers way up.
Isn't that funny? I didn't see him for 5 days. I'm doing so well on my own dealing with that.
Because now I'm looking at other people, and I'm like, how do you spend all of your time with your husband? How do you even have any time for yourself? I wish I had more alone time, more time alone with my thoughts.
And that's where we're going to call it this week. We heard all about the lovely time that Meri had being a sister wife. Again, a lot of that chapter, not really so much about any positive aspect of a relationship with her sister wives.
No, it's more about the reasons why Meri was blaming Robyn for all of Meri's shortcomings in her relationship with Kody. And they were able to straighten that out at counseling before Robyn joined the family. Did you like that part too, when she was talking about how even when there's nights where it's Kody's night at Meri's house and Robyn and her kids will come over and hang out too sometimes?
Oh, yeah, I skipped over that because I thought it was going to say that Robyn doesn't come over, that she's just watching Robyn's kids, but it's almost worse that they all are over there.
Well, especially on the next page then when Meri's talking about, usually if Kody's with another wife, I won't call him on the phone because I don't want to
I don't want to intrude.
Yeah, I don't want to detract from his time with that wife and her kids. So usually I'll just send him a text, and then eventually he'll get back to me within a few business days.
Not everybody is respectful.
Yeah.
We're not all thinking the same thing.
It doesn't go both ways.
A few announcements before we go. Over on Surviving Reality, our other podcast, we are breaking down Welcome to Plathville week by week.
The new season 7, is in mid-swing. We also did a deep dive of the life and crimes of the Plath family. So make sure you check that out. That was July's Mediocre Down episode on the Patreon.
Keep up with your reading. We'll see you next time.